how's it going, guys? I know I've been gone for a little bit. I've been recently moving, so I haven't had a chance to post any videos up on the big blockbusters that have come out during the summer. I am looking forward to doing that probably at the end of June, where I'll just review all the movies that I've missed out on reviewing in the month of June. But today I'm going to be talking about the last movie I saw in theaters, which was 47 Meters Down. But yes, another shark film. Last year's The Shallows was okay. It was decent. Blake Lively, she did her best. Not the greatest actress in the world. I thought that the sharks itself were also decent. I think the biggest thing for that film was visually it looked really nice. But I mean, seriously, how can you screw up a movie that's shot on a beautiful island? So cinematography is going to be pretty good regardless. For this film, we're not so much above the surface, and it's all taking place under the sea, and that's where it kind of poses a problem. At the same time, it kind of helps it. And the main story of this film is it just follows these two sisters who decide to go on an adventure. One sister, played by Mandy Moore, is she's just been dumped by her boyfriend, and she wants to show him that she can still have a lot of fun, that she's not a boring person like her boyfriend said she was, and that she's going to try and go do something exciting. And climbing in a cage with sharks and taking pictures of them is one of those things, I guess, that she's going to do. Like, we're not going to go skydiving or bungee jumping or something. Like, we're going to go directly to a cage filled and swim with sharks, pretty much. That's like, yeah, let's do that. Clearly, they haven't seen Jaws. These two sisters, they're in Mexico. They run into these strange group of Spanish men who somehow just decide to be like, hey, for $100 you can go underwater and see sharks and take pictures of them and stuff. And they're like, yeah, why not? This looks shady as hell, but let's do it anyway, because why not? And there we are introduced to the entirety of this film, where they get caged up. They think they're going down and everything's going to be all great, and then everything goes wrong. The wire snaps and the cage goes tumbling down 47 meters down, hence the name of this film. So there are some decent moments. I will not completely trash this film because the trailers look absolutely horrible for this film, because it really shows you the entire film without even actually having to see it. And you kind of really see that there's not much substance in this film when you watch it. It's almost 2 hours long, and there's not much happening. It's like they're in the cage, they fall down to the bottom of the sea, and pretty much the entire, that's 30 minutes in, and they're already under the sea, and it's like, well, what are they going to do now? It's like, how much further are they going to stretch this film? Because there's still a long ways to go, and it's like, they're already stuck there. What are they going to do under the sea for, that long? And so the trailer kind of shows a lot of that. The characters aren't particularly interesting, and that's what kind of sucks, because the first 30 minutes that they're kind of, setting up the story of why they're going to be there in the first place, you just don't care, because they're just stupid chicks. Like, we just had a film called Wonder Woman come out, where we had a really strong central female character, and now we're back to this, where we have these dumb chicks doing stupid shit that we kind of just hope that they die. You can't root for any of these characters. I guess there's the one chick that's played by Mandy Moore who's, hesitating. You're like, I guess I could root for this chick, but the other one's gonna die. It's like, plain and simple, it's gonna happen. Dumb chicks die in these types of films. They don't have to necessarily have sex with someone. So they're down under the sea, and it's like they're crying, they're bitching, they're like, oh, we gotta get out of this cage, and it's like those little things that kind of bug me about this film. But I will say that there are, like I said, some things that do make it a little better than I actually thought it was. For one, I think this movie, what it does well is it definitely isolates you from the outside, because this film takes place 80% of the time underwater. So you do get that sense of claustrophobia, where a good hour into the film, I was like, okay, can we get to the surface? I'm starting to being tired of looking at water. I think that's what this film does well. Especially there's this one scene, spoiler alert, I guess, this movie's been out for 2 weeks, where Mandy Moore's character, she gets out of the cage to go, because she sees someone in the distance with a flashlight, and she thinks someone's out there to rescue them, and they just can't see them. So she tries to go to this guy. When she finds him, the guy's dead, but there's a flashlight there. So she picks up the flashlight, and now she has got to go back to the cage, knowing that, well, so much for this plan. But she can't, because she doesn't know where she's at, because everything's so dark, everything looks the same. So you just don't have a sense of direction, and I thought that was really good, because that's legit. that would be happening. I could imagine, like, how do you still know which way to go? But of course, any time that this film does something right, they automatically screw it up by doing something stupid, and we get a stupid, jump scare shark scene, and next thing you know, like 2 seconds later, she's right by the cage, and it's like, how is that even possible? How is that even possible? Clearly, this cage should have been way further than where she's located now. There's no way she's that fast of a swimmer. It's just this movie needs to continue going on. She's a main character. She can't get killed off right now. And those are like the little things that kind of bug me about this film. Also, the sharks just are kind of stupid. These characters would have been dead like a long time ago because for some reason these sharks can't bite anybody until like the very end of the film. And it's like you have 4 or 5 sharks swimming around them. Are you freaking serious? Blake Lively in The Shallows got cut by one freaking shark. There's 5 sharks that are like 3 times the size of what the shark in The Shallows, and these chicks are getting like unscathed. It's ridiculous. They're just kind of there. They're just swimming around, but they're not mad. They're just kind of there to kind of like remind them that there's sharks swimming around here, but they're not really doing anything. After the first hour of the film, you're thinking, okay, now they're gonna get rescued. I guess this movie's coming to an end, maybe. And no, they decide to extend this movie further because they're like, no, we still gotta kill another 40 minutes. Let's have the boat get a spare wire, attach it to the cage, and let's try pull them up again. And then the same thing happens again. The cord snaps. They fall down 47 meters down again. It's like, just when I thought this movie was gonna end, it's like almost torturing you. And that's where I thought, okay, they're just wasting time right now. What the heck was that all about? And then the ending happens, and then that's really when we find out, like I said, with the sister, she swims out of the cage and goes like 30 feet below the surface where she can radio in the guy on the boat, and because there's no signal 47 meters down, so she's like, we're low on oxygen, we need more air here, and the guy sends him 2 tanks, but he tells her that the reason that he didn't send them 2 tanks before was because that if using a second tank exposes you to more nitrogen. You're inhaling more of it, and you're going to start hallucinating. And it kind of gives away a little too much for what's to come. And then towards the end of the film, we just see that both of them are finally being rescued. And they're on this boat, and everyone's fine. Everyone's safe, happily ever after, or whatever. And then you see Mandy Moore's character look at her hand, and then we see all this blood coming out of it. And then it looks like it's all wavy. It looks like she's still under the ocean. And then we cut to the scene where she's still in the cage, under the water, in the depths of 47 meters down. She's staring at her hand, she's laughing, she's hallucinating, she's still under the ocean, she's not rescued, no one has been rescued. Her sister is more than likely dead. And that is where that film should have ended. Fortunately, then we get Coast Guards to come in and rescue her, and it's completely just destroyed that whole entire scene. Like I said, this film gives you certain moments where it gets you involved into the film. You're thinking, yes, you're doing something right. And then it kind of screws it up, drastically hurts the entire film. It doesn't help that we have really dumb characters, pretty terrible story. The concept is fine. It's the way it's executed is really terrible. The whole reason that they're there, it just doesn't make sense at all. Dumb chicks under the water, screaming, complaining. It's a disappointment. But this isn't a terrible film, but that ending really did hurt the grade of this thing. I think I just docked us down like half a grade because of that ending. It should have just cut to black when she found out she was hallucinating. That would have been a really good ending. It would have been like a Prisoner's ending, kind of, just cut to black. And that would have kind of helped this movie out a little bit. There's still a lot of issues going on with the film. It would have been something. And it would have, because there's a lot of just pointless scenes in this film, and it just adds up, and it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, this movie's not all that good. It has good moments where it's thrilling, would really feel like you're in the cage, not because of the sharks around there, but because it's so dark, I guess, in a good way. It's dark in a good way, to the point where you're like just tired of being under the water. and you feel like you're there. This film should not have been this long. It should have been cut down. There's no reason we needed to have them crash to the bottom of the ocean twice. It's just they were looking for time to kill. It was going to be probably a shorter film anyway, but they needed to give it a full feature-length movie to make a theatrical run, I guess. I'm going to be giving 47 Meters Down a C-. For a direct-to-video movie, because that's what originally it was going to be, it's not bad. It's definitely better than any of those Sharknado movies. I can't stand those things. I guess it was trying to copy the success of The Shallows. Unfortunately, I think The Shallows was a little bit better. Not that The Shallows was really great anyway, but a solid effort, because you can tell that they were trying to make a good movie. I think they were trying too hard to make it a horror film, because it wasn't really much of a horror film. There were like jump scares, but they didn't create anything, any suspense or anything, because the sharks weren't doing anything. They needed to give the sharks to do something, create more suspense in that area. That's what Jaws did really fantastically. It created that anticipation of you never know when that shark's going to appear. And here, they tried it, it just kind of failed. The sharks weren't very intimidating. It was the water that was more frightening than anything, and running out of oxygen, and they should have stuck with that instead of doing this whole thing with the sharks, because it was just a waste of time. They were not intimidating. Quite frankly, if you remove the sharks from this film, it wouldn't have actually hurt this film. So yeah, that is my review of 47 Meters Down. If you have seen the film, please tell me what your thoughts were on the film, if you liked it, what you thought of that ending, and any thoughts in general about just shark movies, The Shallows, if you like that film. And stay tuned. I will try to review like previous films of June, because I have a lot of movies to catch up on reviewing. And yeah, if you like this video, do give it a thumbs up down on the bottom. Comment your thoughts down below. And yeah, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And I'll see you guys next time for more unboxings, reviews, and movie news.